Alright, so, I know the results of the series. I know that RunAway, like, completely smashes the series. And that was my prediction was that RunAway was going to win. I do have it written down, that I predicted that. I guest featured in the over.gg predictions article for the Apex semifinals, and I predicted C9 Kongdu to win over GC Busan, which obviously they did not. So I definitely got that wrong. I think they overperformed, But anyways, I got that one wrong, and then this one I said RunAway 4-2. I didn't think they were going to be this dominant over the not the Wolves. Sorry, I've been watching too much Challenger. Not the Wolves, the Foxes. I didn't think they would like crush the Foxes this hard, but obviously they did. Which is, it's fine. It's probably good for the scene that RunAway and GC Busan are both so strong. Although, we'll have to see, because obviously at some point I'm going to need to come up with a prediction for the finals. So this series is going to be really important for me to, probably watch another time after this. And I'm also hoping to find something in this VOD to do a little video on. So we'll have to see. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say before I actually get started. I want to say that's a loud truck outside, and I apologize, but
people are still getting ready to walk.
Okay, so let me see. I'm going to. I have nothing to say here. This is like bone standard dive. Unless anyone actually has a question about this comp, I have nothing to say about that comp. Or I have nothing new to say about that comp. So the Foxes. Okay, so this point of Ilios is not horrible for Sombra because obviously we can't see the point right now, but there is like the point, right, and it's like kind of recessed into the ground. So then like a little bit higher up and off to what would be to this side, there is a large health pack. And this health pack's pretty good to hack because it has a pretty direct line of sight to the point, as well as you deny it to the enemy team, blah, 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 blah. So this is a relatively good point for Sombra, as well as the point itself does not have any obstructions on it. It is completely clear. It's not like, what is it, like Control Center on Lijiang or, I'm trying to think what another point, like or a shrine on Nepal, right, where they have some structure in the middle you gotta hide behind. So EMPs will hit the entire point. So Sombra's okay. I still have a lot of the same concerns about Sombra and her ability to heal your tanks on the front line. I think the only advantage, like the only thing that's kind of interesting that alleviates that a little bit is that Ikono. Is it Ikono or Ikono? I think it is Aikino. I think it's a blend of the two ones that I just said. Aikino is playing Hog. And Hog, of course, is, especially in his current state of balance, the fact that Take a Breather can be used while moving, and it gives him damage reduction while doing it. He can basically heal himself through pretty much anything. He has to be pretty seriously focused down to not be able to heal himself through something, especially since RunAway doesn't quite have the same like consistent DPS as if Hawksall was like a soldier, right? If this Genji was a soldier and then you had like Soldier Tracer with Discord Orb, then this Hog will die still. But Genji doesn't quite have that same consistent damage, so Aikino, I don't know, whatever. Roadhog will be tough to take down. But this comp still just like has these massive holes because it's like, okay, it's very streaky, right? There, like, if you get a team fight where you hit EMP on maybe not even everybody necessarily, but say on D.Va and Zenyatta, and you can kill the Zen because there's no defense matrix to protect him, and he loses all his shields. And then maybe you get a hook on Tracer or Genji. Sure, that team fight you're gonna smash that team fight. But if you get a team fight where, you drop EMP, but Cox reacts appropriately and drops Transcendence, and Aikino maybe doesn't hit a hook, he just happens to miss it that fight, then you get smashed. Because then have two players who are like pretty subpar. So I don't. I'm not sure how much I like this comp. I mean, it's something unexpected. I'll say that, right? It's going to be a little bit of a surprise for RunAway, unless maybe they've heard about that they've been doing this in scrims or something. But I don't like the comp a ton. It has merit to it. I'm not saying that it doesn't have merit. Just that its merits are very limited, I think.
Oh, and look at this. We have a bit of a surprise from the South BNC Foxes.
Okay.
Kino running the
Actually,
Roadhog.
turn
We
that down
have
a
seen
little bit.
Kino's Roadhog before in the past, and he was more meta. And he was of course, but Kino.
How did the
in
Foxes
past
get there
was
so much
more meta.
earlier?
Kino running the Roadhog.
We have
Oh, okay. Pumple actually
seen
jumps
Kino's
in.
Roadhog before
Does
in the
Diva
past,
actually
he was
use her
more meta.
boosters? And Diva does not use her
And
boosters. Okay. So Pumple jumps forward, while it looks like Tizzy for RunAway just simply kind of like walks up. This gives like obviously it gives a little bit of position, and normally that can be a little scary, because on the off chance the team is running like a McCree, then your Winston can get caught out and he doesn't have jump. Especially since Saucin didn't follow him super closely, but you can kind of count that RunAway's not probably not running McCree, because if anything you expect Cox. See, there we go. I'm still waking up. Got a little yawn. If anything, you expect Cox to play Zen like he is, but you expect him to play Zen because you know that they're going to want to run Hawksall and Genji on this map. Okay, so Stitch has the potential to do a lot of work right here. Okay, so this health pack, wow, that purple of the skull really does not stand out, but the little skull is right there. It also doesn't help that the objective notification is there, but so this health pack is now hacked. I don't have a purple on here. Oh, wait. So this is controlled now, right? This is controlled by the NC Foxes. So, sure, you have this here, but look at where the fight is actually happening, right? This is where the skirmish is happening. This is, in this square, I drew, or rectangle, I suppose. I have 2 Divas, I have 2 Winstons, and it looks like I also have Hawksall's Genji. Basically, my point being is that within this rectangle is the main skirmish happening right now, right? We see both Winstons on the front line. They're the closest to the enemies. We have the Divas behind them so they can protect them with defense matrix. Hawksall's also in there, which is fine. You know, he's behind his Winston. He's in his Winston's bubble. He still has Reflect. You know, he's fine to be up there. But this is where the main battle is happening, right? These trades right here are pretty likely going to determine the winner of the first fight. Because if your tanks, especially if the Foxes tanks right here get chunked out, they're not going to be able to be healed here. They're going to have to come back over here, in which case they're going to expose themselves to these lines of fire here, as well as, I'm sure you noticed it by now, Stitch is hanging out right here. Funnily enough, he has the Orb of Harmony right now, which I don't think he needs. But anyways, it would be better served on either Hawksall or Tizzy right now. I think by default, you pretty much just leave it on your Winston. But Stitch is in a really good position here to, if either of the tanks, Saucin or Pumple, try and attempt to come pick up this health pack, he's in a really good position to punish them for it. And if they come over with, 100 health, right, Tracer's totally going to be able to kill them there. The other thing that's happening here is we have both supports, because Sombra's effectively a support, are pretty vulnerable right now because Pumple and Saucin are very obviously worried about the front line here. They're, doing stuff here, and they're trying to keep control of the point, right? Because in this kind of area right here, they are in this area where the members of RunAway are not yet. So they are kind of in control. So they're worried about kind of remaining here so that way they can cap the point. So Stitch has pretty good lines right now to punish the supports. And especially if he can force specifically Heok right here on the Lucio back, right? Even if he just forces him back, he doesn't even have to force him back like to spawn. He just has to force him back that way, and that'll still be kind of worth it because then none of Lucio's healing is going to hit the tanks either. So then these tanks are totally just high and dry, and then they're just gonna, you know, they're just gonna fall. So this is like that's a very detailed explanation of why I don't really like Sombra, because I just think that Sombra falls apart in a lot of situations. It doesn't let your tanks be tanks, right? Because if you're running a Zenyatta right now, you know, Pumple has a Orb of Harmony on him, and he's being healed. Sure, Orb of Harmony is not the highest healing rate in the world, but he still has a D.Va to protect him, right? So he gets a few extra seconds of being able to heal, you know, without taking damage, yada yada. Yeah, so I think RunAway is going to win this first team fight, is what I'm saying.
Is going to be playing the Roadhog here.
Oh, actually, I didn't notice that so. Where was he? Oh, okay, there he is. So I actually did not notice this, and that's my bad. But it's also because like seeing silhouettes is fucking impossible. But it looks like maybe over the bridge back here, this little red thing here is So. I believe that's the Tracer. Yeah, because this is Aikino right here. So here's the Hog. Yeah, so the Hog's staying with his tanks. That's what he does. Because if anyone, you know, gets too aggressive, they leave their Winston bubble to come up and hit the tanks. Then he can hook them, right? But I believe this is So. So So actually, both Tracers are in really good positions right now, actually, to get onto the back lines. I still believe that the supports for the Foxes are more vulnerable to the Tracer because their D.Va is much farther away. He's all the way down in the point, while So is right here, and the D.Va for RunAway is right here, and the supports, those are their tick markers. Or wait. Okay, wait, no, because here's Hoxel 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's injured. So maybe it's actually these two tick markers because they're both full health, I think. So I still think that RunAway's in a little bit better position, but okay. So Bumper gets chunked pretty hard. Pumple is chunked super hard, and Pumple gets killed, like we were talking about. He has no healing, and once you get discorded, you know. All right, there we go. And see, Aikino misses the hook, and suddenly the Hog doesn't do anything. Did he even use Take a Breather? So look at this. He was at. So look, when they start spectating him, he's at 600 health. And dead. Take a breather. Yeah, by the time he goes for Take a Breather, he puts it on cooldown because he goes for it, but he already dies. It takes him just a few seconds to get killed. 600 health with no armor and no damage mitigation is really not that much. You have to use that Take a Breather. He was in a really bad position. Once the rest of his front line went down, actually being in this point here means that the Hog's really vulnerable, because to get up these ramps and stuff, it's a very predictable path he's going to take, and because he's so fat, he actually takes up the whole path. So you just shoot at the path. You just can shoot at the path, right? So Tracer is going to hit every bullet. Genji can hit all his shurikens. You know, Cox is going to hit everything. And once he's discorded, it's pretty easy to kill him. And Aikino was a little bit greedy, and he didn't go. He went for the hook. He was like, okay, I'm going to try and get a kill here. He didn't go for the Take a Breather. He was dead no matter what, so I suppose you might as well go for the hook, actually. Build some ult charge, but he didn't even stick with the Hog, so. But yeah, that's why Hog doesn't really do anything. So they went to something that's still kind of streaky. Widowmaker's still a little bit streaky, but a little bit less streaky. Widowmaker's a little bit more, what do you call it? Reliable. A little bit, because the Widowmaker gets more chances to get a kill. She gets it, you know, every like second and a half or something, as opposed to every 8 seconds. As well as she does it at a much longer range, so she's pretty safe. And Aikino's getting a couple good, pretty solid kills. So, oh yeah, there we go, get another one. So, are they gonna be able to flip this? Yeah, they're totally gonna be able to flip this. Yeah, that Winston's gonna get out. Cool. Wow, he played that really well. He got 3 kills, or he finished off 3 players. He might have got more limbs, I suppose. But he actually got 3 killing blows, as you should.
funny to
That's
say
like the
that
whole
when
point
you
of
can predict
Widowmaker.
the recall, predict the dash, that's when the Widowmaker is going to be able to pick off those DPS players. Once the tank is gone, it becomes a lot easier, as you guys just saw.
Little skirmishing here. Did not stick that, but it didn't get eaten, right? I can't tell if Diva was there. No, it was just Winston. Yeah, it was just Winston. Oh no, Diva was there at the end, but the pulse bomb wasn't eaten regardless. It went off. Alright, so Runaway drops beat. Interesting. That was really weird. I don't know why you go for the tanks. Okay, let's see. Because right now, at the same time that Hoxall pulls his blade out and goes for Winston, Hyuk goes right here. His dash comes up, and it's not on cooldown, or sorry, it's not off cooldown right now, but it's up in a second. So we can dash at the Lucio, pop blade, and then dash at him again. And then that's a kill, that's a reset, and then you can chain that back over to the Widow right here. And 200 health is like a feasible number of damage to do, right, on Lucio. But killing a full health Winston, who's right next to a Sombra hacked health pack, it's just not gonna happen. Like, that's just not gonna happen. This was a really bad Dragon Blade. Oh, okay, wait. Actually, maybe he was going for So. Maybe he was going for Tracer there. Because here the Tracer blinks in. Here's Tracer right here. And I think he throws the right click. And he hits her. Yeah, because he has a hit marker. Yeah, so he hits the Tracer. Because he has a hit marker right now. Here's his middle shuriken that's about to hit the wall. Or maybe that's his right shuriken, actually. But he has a hit marker right now. And obviously he's not hitting either of these two. So he hits the Tracer. Okay, no. If he was going for the Tracer, he fucking horrifically missed. Because he dashes literally straight at Pumple. And that dash is what actually gives him the blade. Okay, no. So he's not going for Summon So. I was wrong there. He's... For whatever reason, he's whipping out blade for the tanks. Alright, that's really stupid. Hoxall's normally smarter than that. That was honestly just retarded. The odds, seriously though, the odds of killing Winston with Dragon Blade, when Winston is full health, are already very low. Because the Winston has so many tools to get away from you. Ignoring the fact that Pumple also has Primal Rage. You know, Winston's jump is just a strictly longer dash than Genji's. So yeah, no, I don't know. I should stop harping on it so much because it's a short point that I'm making very long, but it was a bad decision. Okay, so this EMP here. What does he hit? Okay, so he gets Winston, Diva, and it looks like Stitch. That's pretty good, actually. If you can turn off Tizzy's Primal Rage, that seems pretty worth. And Winston only has a couple hundred health right now, so you can get him down. And then Tracer with no mobility is really weak. So hopefully, though, they make the correct call, and it looks like they are. Because Neko is currently, we can see on the Sombra, is firing this way. I think that's Pumple. Because I think all this red right here is the Winston zapping them. So I think they're focusing the tanks right now. Yeah, that is Pumple, okay. And then here comes Summon So, and they're going to do the same. Cool. So they make the correct call, get the EMP off, focus on the tanks. Stitch gets his mobility back before they can kill him, but they chase him down anyways. Cool. So, oh, Aquino hits that. What the hell? So, okay. And that's what you have to do with the EMP. The EMP is what actually has to win you fights. because, like we talked about at great length in the first fight, you don't have the healing to take kind of standard fights. Once you're in control, it's a little bit different, because you can kind of pick your fights more carefully, but so-and-so needs healing. So, the reason why you need to heal your Tracer in this situation, so this is exactly what so-and-so should be doing right now. Even if Stitch didn't come this way, this is still the correct call, right? And the reason why is because you're stopping Stitch from ever reaching your backline. And this is something that I did a video on, or I did part of that video on Prophet and Birdring, on Tracers and preventing them from flanking. Because so-and-so doing this, if all of RunAway came through here, he just like drops Pulse Bomb on them and just wrecks them. But because it's just Tracer, all he does is just, you know, shoot at him. And we see he wins the duel pretty handily. And what this does is it forces Stitch to do one of two things, and possibly both. When he gets so much damage down, it forces out Stitch's recall. So Stitch can heal and not die, and then potentially it forces Stitch back to join his team, because you don't want to play, or it's not really in your best interest to play super aggressive when you don't have a recall, because then it's really easy to get picked off. So this play from so-and-so right now is really good. He does exactly what he's supposed to. He just gets a ton of damage down, forces Stitch to like 25 health, it looks like. And he recalls. And so goes, alright, I won. He backs off a little bit, but look, he doesn't actually leave this area. He makes sure to see Stitch again, and now he knows that he's low health. He says, okay, I'm at 50 health now. If Stitch blinks forward, I could die very quickly. So he blinks off to the side. And what you need, what should have been done there, and which is this is another weakness of the Sombra, is ideally you heal your Tracer right there when your Tracer is right here. Ideally, you know, you throw a Harmony Orb on them. If you have an Ana, you heal them. If you have a Mercy, you heal them, right? Because now, if so-and-so pretend was full health, right? He has 150 health, full health bar. Stitch, you know, has, you know, 125 health. Even if, you know, so-and-so has 125 health, right? So-and-so can blink forward and play aggro and force Stitch back. Because Stitch knows that realistically he's not going to get this kill because so-and-so has recall. So at any given point in time, so-and-so just hits E and gets his health back and has a massive advantage in this duel. And this gives you pressure on the flank. This is one of the reasons why the Tracer v Tracer duel is like one of the most important, like literal 1v1 matchups in the current metagame. Because the ability to out-pressure the enemy Tracer means that you get pressure on the flank, and that your Tracer gets to do stuff in the enemy backline that the other Tracer player doesn't. So healing your Tracer and allowing them to win this fight, enabling them to win this duel, is a really big deal. I'm not saying you need to like nano boost the Tracer, right, if you're playing Ana, but just heal them, for fuck's sake. And unfortunately, because it's Sombra, there is no healing. So he's getting slowly ticked up by the Lucio aura, but that's about it. So he has to concede ground a little bit. And I don't know if they're going to get punished for it necessarily, but it's certainly not necessarily a good thing. What is Aikino doing? Oh, Tizzy, just... Is he getting hit by Tizzy? Right? Okay, so Tizzy props Primal. Comes onto him. Okay, that was 40 damage. So that was a jump, I believe. Another jump. Okay, yeah, no, he just gets slapped. Cool. Nice. Okay, so Tizzy's in the back line of the Foxes right now, and it looks like So-and-so or Suminso, I don't know, whatever, So-and-so and Pump will try and answer. But So-and-so is forced to recall immediately. And then, because there's actually a Zenyatta, Discord Orb means he's gonna die. So with the numbers advantage, they should be able to get this. And they're going to get it to 99% is the question. They are. Okay. So the Foxes get it to 99, which is good. So, literally, they clear the point, you know, once, and they're pretty good. Ooh, ooh. Alright, that would have been a really big pick. So, so I think a really interesting, like, mini story to follow in this fight is we're going to have to watch Transcendence versus EMP. Because if EMP gets dropped but does not cancel out the Transcendence, then RunAway probably wins this fight. And the big reason for that is because the time that Transcendence is going to buy them is going to give them a Dragon Blade. It's probably going to give them a Pulse Bomb too, just because of how quick Pulse Bomb charges. Potentially, I mean, fuck, potentially a Sound Barrier. Hyuk will definitely get a Sound Barrier, though. And the rest of the Foxes are too far away. And then this Self-Destruct could be very powerful zoning tool as well. So, Neko's going to have to come up big. He's going to have to hit a big EMP and kill Cox, like, immediately, basically. So, his invisibility is about to run out there. Okay, so this, I believe, is the Translocator animation. Should be. So he's blinking back out because his invisibility ran out, and we can see that Cox popped Transcendence. You can see the little, you know, kind of particles here. Here's the glowing Zenyatta. So, and RunAway's at 57%, so the Foxes can do this. They can just back away. You know, they don't have to win now. And now, suddenly, RunAway does not have Transcendence. And, like, just done. End. So, RunAway's going to make the correct call. They're going to say, fuck it, we have Transcendence pop. We need to do something with this, right? You can't just completely squander the ult. So they play this, like, totally appropriately. Tizzy comes forward. Hoxel comes forward. What does Neko get hit by initially? I think it's just Genji damage. And then, obviously, Hoxel plays that part really well. And the reactive Sound Barrier from Hyuk is completely wasted. There's actually no point to that Sound Barrier. You're never gonna get Sound Barrier off faster than the Genji will be able to animation. At least a Genji like Hoxel will be able to animation cancel and eliminate your Sombra player. The Sombra's really squishy. So and this is where having that Sound Barrier would be really good, because right now you have no healing for Pumple and Saucin. You haven't been in control of the point in a while, so the health pack on the side probably isn't even hacked anymore. And Hyuk doesn't have Sound Barrier. And Saucin and Pumple are both really low health. So that Sound Barrier could be enough to keep your tanks alive right now, but unfortunately you don't have your tanks. So Pumple has to leave. You know, holy shit. They actually turn it? Oh, actually, oh, wait, actually. Oh, the EMP cleansed the Sound Barrier from RunAway. Oh, okay, gotcha. So they got a really high value EMP then. Gotcha. And then, how does Pumple heal up? Looks like Pumple, because he didn't pick up this health pack. But he suddenly jumped to here. He didn't pick up this health pack because always still there. So I think he picked up the large health pack that's kind of back that way, like around the corner.
Really well-timed EMP there after most of the shields had faded. Just trying to chase down these last remaining.
Saucin's out of mech though, which is like really big. So the Foxes flip it. Oh, Cox is not playing Sombra as well. Okay. Hoxel's gonna die. Losing Hoxel really sucks. But Saucin's dead too. Wow. I'm not sure where Stitch was, but Stitch saved that. Stitch got like two kills in the back line. I think RunAway actually might take this. Holy shit. Yeah, Pumple has to back off. And Cox now controls that health pack. So Tizzy can go take one. If Tizzy go... Okay, yeah, I would say someone takes it. So now they have EMP. And this is the insane thing about Sombra. At the start of the fight, Cox switches to Sombra, and now he has EMP, and he's gonna be able to, yeah. D.Va has no. Okay, cool. They got D.Va mech. Yeah, that's what you do. He hit that EMP there was basically just strictly for D.Va mech. He happened to catch Neko as well, so he got he got some additional value there. But all right, and then Hoxall this time pops out Dragon Blade on squishy targets, is able to get resets, and that is that. So now that we're 30 minutes into the broadcast, I finished 1 point of Ilios. Nobody would ever actually sit there. Nobody's gonna actually sit through all that. I know they're not. Okay. I think the Foxes, honestly, they came out with a soldier here. I'm pretty sure because they might have anticipated Cox to be playing Pharah, and then Hoxall on, Lucio or something like he has been. Because this map in particular, this point of Ilios is very good for Pharah. So I think they might have preemptively ran the soldier. Once they realize that they're not running soldier, I wouldn't be shocked to see him switch. Although it's not like soldier does poorly into this. Soldier can still set up sidelines and still, chunk tanks, kill people. Soldier's just a good pick. Just all around. It's still a very good pick. So,
style, long range hits can rip them apart, and we'll see if NC Foxes can change things now as they're running these.
Okay. So the Foxes are all together, clumped up in that room. This is okay. Yeah. All right. All right. Okay. I see what you did. There. Okay. I'm gonna wait just a second. I'm gonna check this real quick. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the Foxes, they all path this way, right? They path over to this room here. So it's kind of a cute little play. I don't agree with it necessarily because, well, okay, I take that back. So I think it goes along with their philosophy. That they thought they were going to be playing against a Pharah, because this room here is pretty well protected from Pharah. Not only because you're inside, but also these little overhangs actually make it restrict the angles that Pharah can actually shoot into the doorways with. So I kind of like it actually, as well as it's not completely horrible against this composition from RunAway, because when you actually get into this room here, you do have the small health pack, obviously, and then you have Lucio and Soldier AoE healing. So you're relatively resistant to being dove, actually, like as a whole team. But one of the problems that we see here is that the supports end up split on this side, and Stitch and Tizzy get on them very promptly. So we see when they land, right, Neko and Hyok are both kind of outside a little bit, and Neko gets chunked very low. Genji doesn't have Blade. Is this his dash animation? I never realized how fucking massive that is. And he gets chunked really low. He's gonna get taken out pretty soon. Yeah, they focus him down, and I can kind of see what they're doing, right? Lucio, okay, yeah. Lucio is yellow. So he's healing. They have, the biotic field right here. And Lucio, you can see these yellow right here. So he's healing. So they're trying to, out-sustain them now. Which I'm surprised they actually don't, because they're all full health in this screenshot. And then RunAway is, pretty low, actually. They have a bunch of people at, half health. but get Neko down.
Play, but seems like they might not need it. They already go for it.
Oh, no, that's right. They did win this. Yeah. I watched it through once and I already forgot. Yeah, so it actually looks like it might work out. Oh, nice. That was really good from so to just go forward and deny the health pack. He gets killed by Baby Diva, but, you know, he denied the health pack from Stitch, which was clever. Oh, I think he was trying to play that and land, instead of landing, like, on this side like he did. Oh, whoops. That is not the tool I meant to have. There we go, pen. Instead of landing on this side like he did, I think he was trying to land on this angle and knock him into the pit. That would have been better, at least. Because now he just knocks him that way. But he backs off. Because there's no point in staying, you know. He's not getting anything there. Okay, so I like that from the Foxes. That was clever. Little hide in the room. We have a health pack advantage, so one of our players are going to pick it up immediately when they get damaged. And then Soldier plus Lucio. And you see, actually, because Lucio was on healing that whole time, and they were taking so much damage, he has a freaking sound barrier already, where Bumper's at just half. So that's pretty cool. And then Pumple, of course, because they won that fight, and he got to spend so much time just zapping people, is really high ult percentage as well. So it worked out. The Foxes should be able to hold this next fight because they're going to have two pretty powerful ultimates. So there goes the sound barrier. It cannot be answered by RunAway. Tizzy goes down. That's Tizzy in there. It looks like Janu. Okay, wait. Okay, Janu had Defense Matrix up there. Okay, so there's Defense Matrix right now from both Divas in this room. Blue and red is still up. Now I just see red. That might be blue as well. Okay, so Janu's Defense Matrix is back up now. He put it down, it looks like, and then now it's back up. Still up. Tizzy's taking a lot of damage, though, in that interim. Still up. It must have dropped there. Tizzy takes a lot of damage. It's back up. He starts very slowly taking damage. And then it looks like it looks like he might take like a Helix rocket or something there at the end. Yeah, he takes a Helix rocket at the end. Okay. So it looks like Janu might have mismanaged his Defense Matrix a little bit there. So Tizzy dropped really early. Ooh, that was a good pick from Cox, though. Especially since so had a Pulse Bomb. You turn off Pulse Bomb. Ooh, nice. Ooh. Oh, holy shit. That was so sick. Look at this. So kills Hawksall, jumps in, and when he's up in the air here, he can kind of survey his targets, right? So he can see Zen, Lucio. I don't know if he can see whoever that is right there. So Diva, but lands in between them, knocks the Zen forward. Now Cox is vulnerable. If Cox doesn't die here, I'm gonna be so sad. Oh, he pops Trance. Okay, but that's basically an insect. Like, that's basically just an insect. Like an insect from Big Legends, you know, with like Lee Sin knocking the key target forward, and he forces an ultimate out. It's cute play. It doesn't matter a ton because it gave, like, you know, it's not the worst time for them to pop Trance anyways. Oh, that was a shitty sound barrier. Where was Bumper? That sound barrier just only hit Bumper and Cox. It's a really bad sound barrier. I don't know where they were. Okay, Stitch gets Pumple down. Oh, okay, so the Pulse Bomb's trade. Alright, rip everybody. Yeah, alright, they got that. Hawksall's Dragon Blade didn't get a ton done there. Tizzy got a lot done, but...
They already got a pretty good amount accrued there with 57%.
You know, RunAway's play playstyle versus what we've seen from Lutekai in the past, Hoxall is more famous for building quick Dragon Blades. Who is more famous for having perfect Dragon Blades with support coordination. Didn't have support coordination there.
Sorry about that. I just realized I had a moment where I forgot my mic was running. Okay. Yeah, someone so lost that battle on the side. But so so was really far forward of his team, and where's that is Stitch right there. Where did someone so die?
Hoxall is more famous for building quick Dragon Blades. Who is more famous for having perfect Dragon Blades with support coordination.
Oh, okay.
Didn't have the support coordination.
Gotcha. So okay. So Stitch now it is Stitch's turn to lie in wait, and again he does this very appropriately. Stitch is right here, hiding around the corner here as so approaches on the flank, right? Because we see the main unit of Runaways over here. Right here's Genji, D.Va, Winston, Zen and Lucio are probably back over there. So Stitch is protecting their flank, right? From the point where they can see the other flank, which is like through the little windmill itself. So this is the most vulnerable flank. So Stitch is sitting on it. Correct call from Stitch. And it looks like Cox gets a Discord orb down on so once he comes out, and it looks like Stitch just one-clips him.
Support coordination. Didn't have the support coordination there. It was actually Tizzy who picked up the double.
Yeah.
That flip coordination.
Yeah, that was brutal. So didn't even have time to react and recall. He just got hammered in the back. I really hate the phrase one clip, by the way. Off topic. I know I used it there, but a clip. So here I'm going to clip versus magazine, because this is a clip, and a clip is used in like older style rifles. Where you actually like feed individual bullets in, where they don't have detachable box magazines like this, right? So this is like, I'm talking like really old stuff, like World War I type rifles. And a magazine is what we use in everything today. And I suppose Tracer doesn't really do either of these. She like flips her guns and they like recharge because they're energy. But one clip I don't really like, because Soldier, for example, uses like a magazine, right? Ana, I think, uses a magazine, but everyone says clip. And the reason people say clip is because it's shorter. It's clip and then magazine. There's 3 syllables, so yeah. But I don't like the phrase one clip for that reason. And they use it in Counter-Strike too, actually, I think. I think they use the phrase clip, or the word clip. Hoxall? Trolling, or? So now they've actually switched it up a little bit. The Foxes have. So we can see it's nice because this white building here gives me really good contrast. D.Va, Winston, Lucio, Zen, and Soldier are all here. So the main unit is now actually attacking this building that Hoxall is standing on, and so is actually going on the other flank, right? So, and this is how you generally play with the Tracer. The Tracer isn't necessarily with the rest of the roster. That doesn't mean she can't be hitting the same targets. In fact, she generally should be hitting the same targets. But she has to approach from a different angle. Or not has to, but it's kind of ideal for her to approach from a different angle. So Hoxall, for whatever reason, drops in with a D.Va in his face, so none of his shurikens are getting anything done, and everyone's full health. So dashes out. Okay. Alright then, guys. Alright. Alright, come on. How... It's not even like the self-destruct wasn't even like flying in at a weird angle. He literally drops it here. And Stitch and Tizzy die to it. I have nothing nice to say about that. That's actually just stupid as hell. When you die to a self-destruct that they literally just drop in the middle of a room when that room has cover in it, And especially when you are Tracer and Winston, and you have mobility, and even if your mobility is off cooldown, again, there's cover in the very room that Hawksall hid behind, right? There's no excuse for that. And that wins the Foxes the fight, right? It gives him control of the point back. Oh, that was beautiful. So, when you go for these combos, you need to make sure, if you are the Tracer player, you need to make sure that you at least clear off all of the armor, right? So we no longer see any yellow health here. It's all gone. It's just red health. And the reason why you have to do that is, well, A, it's a very easy figure to remember, because Winston has 500 health, right? And in that 500 health, he has 400 health plus 100 points of armor. So Pulse Bomb does 400, right? So these match up perfectly, and it works. So you have to clear off this 100 health with your guns. Also, because if the Winston's at 401 health, right, the armor will reduce damage, so he won't end up at 1 health. He'll end up at, like, I don't remember what it is, but he'll end up at like 7 or 8. I mean, he's still really low, right? But if you want to one-shot the Winston, you need to make sure all his armor's gone, because then your Pulse Bomb, which does 400 damage, equals the 400 remaining, and he dies. Ideally, you do a little bit more, so if he gets a, while he does this, jump away, right? While he jumps away, if he gets healed at all, he'll still die, but... and Pubble does the right thing. He's nowhere near his teammates, so he can jump forward. But he drops a bubble. There's no reason to not drop a bubble. It doesn't do anything, but you never know if the bubble will do something, right? You kind of hope that the bubble will block a little bit of damage for your team, but that's not going to happen. They're just going to get ripped apart. So how did Hawksall get there? Is my question. So it looks like RunAway is actually waiting for him to do this. See, they're all kind of grouping up right here. They're very slowly approaching. They're kind of messing around, throwing a spray on the wall. And Stitch, did I say Hawksall? I didn't mean how Hawksall got there. I meant Stitch. And Stitch takes this road. There's ways. I can't show it right now because he's not like. They're not showing him doing the jumping, right? But he did. There's a series of jumps that you can make. There's jumps on pretty much every map, but there's jumps you can make with Tracer where all you need to do is be able to blink forward, and you can get from these little ledges to get up to places. So basically, he's up on like the second level of the windmill right here, and he's able to do this. We can see his knees super bent, and it's because he's doing a crouch walk, right? So he's doing this little, he's walking crouch, and see he kind of does that little bounce because it lets him walk quicker when he does that little bounce while still keeping quiet. So he's looking for the flank. And So is not actually guarding this flank. It is actually Pumple, which is fine. That's a perfectly fine target to be guarding your flank. Winston is very capable of taking duels, especially against any of these players, right? Winston's pretty good here. The only downside is that Tracer can do this. And he plays that pretty much perfectly. He doesn't even, like, dump his entire magazine, because we see his 14 out of 40. Because if he dumps this entire magazine, it gives Pumple more time to react, potentially drop a bubble, potentially jump away, right? And then he misses the Pulse Bomb. So he blinks forward, gets the Pulse Bomb down, and after he actually drops the Pulse Bomb, look at this. So I'm going to try and pause it, right? But watch his ammo. So he's at 16, drops the Pulse Bomb, and then he continues dumping the rest and makes sure that the armor is gone. So he played that, like, basically perfectly. And unfortunately, the Foxes did not cover that flank properly, and they get punished for it, right? Like, you super hard get punished for that.
It seems like RunAway might have this be a pretty swift recap. 94% here for NC Foxes. They'll take control. They have the Transcendence to try to hold this one out.
So,
They do not want another double
the Foxes only got it to 94%, which is a little bit unfortunate. You wanted to get it to 99. But, because then it gives the least amount of time for RunAway to try and mount another offensive, but, it's fine. Okay. That's a little brutal. So the Foxes basically are... Hyok drops the barrier basically for him. So when he starts casting this, who has landed in his face? And it's nobody. How is he taking so much damage at this point already? Who is he getting hit by? Oh, is this Stitch? This might be Stitch. I think it is Stitch because it's blue. So I think Stitch is actually right in his face because Winston doesn't land till now. So I'm pretty sure he drops his sound barrier, I believe, for him. Yeah, because see here, Stitch is trying to finish him off. Stitch is looking for Hyuk because Hyuk's at 26 health, and right now everyone else on the Foxes is basically full health. But D.Va has Defense Matrix on him, so he's safe from Tracer. So, unless, you know, Stitch just fucking meleeed him. But, holy shit, actually. Hyuk, I didn't even notice it. Look at this. Comes up and in mid-air, sees the Tracer, boops. And that boop ensures that Stitch is too far away to get the melee. And because it puts Stitch at a really awkward distance. Because if Stitch is far enough away, actually, at the right distance, he could blink forward and melee and get that, like, you know, quick combo off. But if he's at a middle distance, he'll blink past Hyuk, but he also can't walk up and melee him. So that boop actually, like, ensures his sound barrier goes off. Cute little play. So he outcasts it for himself. I mean, obviously the rest of the Foxes will get it, but he casts it to keep himself alive. And it's conveniently timed because during the cast animation, Aikino gets chunked super hard, right? So we see Aikino has like 2 health bars on the soldier right now, but now he has sound barrier, so he's full health again. Why is this... Oh. Why is it on auto? I don't know why it wouldn't be 1080p. So that sound barrier basically allows them to kind of hold even. Cox counters, he has Transcendence up. So now we have to start looking at... So the initial part of the fight, it's pretty unlikely anybody's going to die, right? Sound barrier goes down from one team, Transcendence from the other. It's pretty unlikely. So now we have to start looking at how are the teams going to transition into the later parts of the team fight. And the Foxes have a lot more on their side. Hoxel's Dragon Blade is going to have to go up against Transcendence. And I don't think that Trance was ready. I think that Trance got readied. Oh, no, it was ready. Okay, never mind. So Hoxel's going to have a rough time here. And... Oh! Ho, ho, ho. So Aikino is actually... Sound barrier was full health. Basically full health. He gets chunked by something. And I think what it is I think Stitch isn't still in the backline. And because we see Sawson is looking this way, right? Here's his defense matrix, heading this way. So, Aikino, and I'm not sure how much I like this because I think you leave Pumple to his own devices right now because Pumple has Primal Rage, so he's going to be really difficult to kill. But Aikino is kind of where you're hoping to win the fight off of because he does have Tac Visor. So I'm pretty sure if you were Sawson, you're supposed to be protecting Aikino right now. So he gets chunked down though, chunked down again, and Sawson just executes him. Holy shit, maybe it was Bumper who did the damage because here's the Lucio. And Janu was also coming for him. So they had 3 players collapsing on Aikino. So they played that super well, though. That's what you need to do. You need to eliminate him. So now Hoxel pops Blade. Oh, sorry. I misjudged that. Hoxel pops Blade as Transcendence was ending. So he actually did it correctly. I saw the animation and I thought I was just starting. It's difficult for me to follow everything, even though I'm able to like pause it, which makes me realize how insane these players are. Nice. Oh man. Hoxel just put it in. Nice. So that was a really clutch fight from RunAway. They really accurately got onto Aikino, which you have to do there. And you know that Aikino has Tac Visor up because you haven't seen him use it in a very long time. So where's my mouse? Oh, there's my mouse. Wow, why is it so loud? Alright, that's better. Wow. Yeah. Hoxel's pretty good at this game, guys. I think we knew that, though.